Norjak, a cold case in 4 parts. Part 1. The Passenger. Flight 305, Portland to Seattle, November 24, 1971, 2:50 p.m. PST. The man in the dark suit walks to the counter at Portland International Airport. He pays cash, 18-52, one way to Seattle. The ticket agent asks for a name. He says, Dan Cooper. No identification is checked, no security. None of that exists yet. He boards Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a 30-minute puddle jumper flight. He takes a seat in the last row, 18C. He orders a bourbon and soda. He lights a cigarette. He puts on sunglasses. It is raining outside. He keeps the sunglasses on anyway. The plane taxis, takes off. At 3:05 p.m., 10 minutes into the flight, he hands a note to the flight attendant, Florence Schaffner. She's used to this. Businessmen passing notes with phone numbers. She drops it in her purse unread. The man leans forward. His voice is calm, quiet, no accent. Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb. Florence opens the note. It's printed neatly. It says he has a bomb in his briefcase. He wants her to sit next to him. She sits. He opens the briefcase. Just a crack. She sees red cylinders, wires, a battery. It looks real. It looks very real. He dictates a new note for the captain. Florence writes it down. The note demands 4 parachutes, 2 primary, 2 reserve, and $200,000. Not a check, not large bills, $20 bills. Negotiable American currency, he says. The money goes in a knapsack, a cloth bag. He wants it by 5 p.m. when they land in Seattle. If the demands aren't met, he tells her, he will blow up the plane. Florence takes the note to the cockpit. The captain radios Seattle. The FBI gets word. The plane circles Puget Sound for 2 hours. On board, the passengers don't know. Some sleep, some read. One passenger, Barbara Simmons, looks out the window. She sees them fly past Seattle, past Everett. She turns to her husband. She whispers, I think we're on the wrong plane. I think we're going to Vancouver. They are not going to Vancouver. On the ground, the FBI scrambles. They gather the money from Northwest Orient's bank. 10,000 unmarked $20 bills. $20 bills were chosen because they're heavy. Heavy is good. Heavy slows a man down. They put the bills in a cloth bag. They gather the parachutes. They get them from a local skydiving school. The plane lands at 5:46 p.m., nearly 3 hours late. The passengers get off. They don't know what happened. They walk through the terminal. They see police. They see FBI agents. They find out later. One passenger tells a reporter, I saw one stewardess answer a call and her face dropped. She looked bewildered and gulped. I guess she learned what was happening then. An airport staffer walks onto the plane. He hands over the cloth bag. Cooper counts it. He doesn't count every bill. He counts the stacks. He's satisfied. The passengers are gone. The flight attendants stay. The pilots stay. The plane refuels. Cooper has new instructions. He tells the pilots, destination Mexico City. He tells them, fly under 10,000 feet. He tells them, keep the cabin pressure low. He tells them, lower the aft stairs once we're airborne. He tells them something else, something they don't believe. He tells them the plane can take off with the stairs down. The pilots say it can't. Cooper's voice stays quiet. He says, yes, they can. In 1964, Boeing tested this exact procedure. The report was titled, Flight Characteristics with Aft Air Stair Down, B. 8 years later, a man in a suit knows about it. The plane takes off at 7:40 p.m. Cooper has the flight attendants move to the cockpit. All of them. He stays in the cabin alone. He has the money. He has the parachutes. He opens one of the parachutes. He unpacks it. He inspects it. He is checking for sabotage. He is methodical. He is careful. At 8:00 p.m., somewhere between Seattle and Reno, the pilot gets a light on his instrument panel. It's the aft stairs indicator. The stairs are down. The pilot calls back on the intercom. Is there anything we can do for you? A voice replies. Quiet. Calm. One word. No. That's the last word anyone hears from Dan Cooper. The stairs are down. The wind is screaming into the cabin. The temperature is well below freezing. Cooper steps out. He jumps. The plane flies on. The pilots don't know he's gone until they land in Reno and find the aft stairs still open and the cabin empty. Part 2. The Hunt. FBI Headquarters. Washington, D.C., November 25, 1971, 9 a.m. EST. The case has a code name now, Norjack, Northwest Hijacking. They find almost nothing. On the plane, they find a few things: cigarette butts, a tie, a black J.C. Penney tie with a mother-of-pearl clasp. Cooper took it off before he jumped. They have a sketch based on witness descriptions. The sketch becomes famous. It becomes the face of the mystery. It's the closest thing they have to a photograph of a ghost. The FBI compiles a list of suspects. By February 4, 1972, they have 325 names. They eliminate 220 of them in the first few months. One suspect is out because of his nose. In 1972, Carl Fleming runs an ad. BCooper, please contact me. A man calls. They meet. The whole thing is a hoax. 2 men are convicted of impersonating Cooper and stealing the money. In 1980, 8-year-old Brian Ingram is digging in the sand. He finds something. A package. Rotting. Decomposing. Inside are $20 bills. $5,880 worth. The serial numbers match the ransom money. The FBI searches the area. They find nothing else. Just the money. The money washes up downstream. It's been there for years, eroded by the river. It proves he landed somewhere, but it doesn't tell them who he was. Part 3. The Suspects. Richard Floyd McCoy Jr., Provo, Utah, April 7, 1972. 5 months after Cooper's jump, another hijacking. Same MO, same plane. A man boards a United Airlines flight in Denver. He has a hand grenade. He demands $500,000. He jumps over Utah. His name is Richard Floyd McCoy Jr. He's a Green Beret, an experienced skydiver. The FBI catches him. He escapes prison. He's on the run. The FBI catches up to him in Virginia Beach. He pulls a gun. They shoot him. He dies on the lawn of a motel. The FBI always suspected McCoy was Cooper. In 2022, a retired pilot finds a parachute on the McCoy property. A military rig modified for sport. A 1 in a billion rig. The FBI seizes it in 2024. They keep it for 2 years. They run forensic tests. In December 2025, they return it to the McCoy family. No explanation, no conclusion. They say it's neither credited nor discredited. That's not nothing. The FBI doesn't comment. The case is cold. Robert Richard Lepsey, October 29, 1969. 2 years before the hijacking, a grocery store clerk disappears. He wears a black tie, the same tie Cooper left behind. Lepsey leaves work and is never seen again. 2 years later, the Lepsey family watches the news. The composite sketch comes on screen. Everyone says, "That's Dad." The resemblance is striking. The height, the weight, the hair, the eyes, the tie matches, the loafers match. There are other suspects. Walter R. Rika died in 2014. His stepdaughter finds a note. "My name is Dan Cooper." She finds cash, but the DNA is inconclusive. Every story falls apart. The timelines don't match. The stories fall apart. One suspect was in a wheelchair. The FBI ruled him out. A man confined to a wheelchair did not hijack the plane. Every story falls apart. Every one of them is ruled out. The evidence doesn't hold. Part 4. The Legacy. Seattle, Washington, present day. The case is closed. The FBI made it official in 2016. Evidence will be preserved for historical purposes at headquarters. But the case isn't really closed, not to the people who follow it. They meet every year at CooperCon. They swap theories, they argue about suspects, they debate the jump, they analyze the money, they never agree. Eric Eulis has been chasing Cooper for years. He has a theory about the tie. Particles of rare metals, titanium. He thinks he can prove where Cooper worked. He needs the tie. The FBI won't give it up. He's suing them. The tie sits in FBI headquarters. in a vault, with the parachutes, the money, the cigarette butts, all of it preserved, all of it waiting. In February 2026, a new story breaks. The McCoy parachute was returned. Dan Greider says, McCoy was Cooper, and the FBI just told us that. Tom Myers disagrees. He says the results were probably inconclusive. He says it's a big maybe. That's the story of BCooper. A big maybe. A mystery that won't die. A man who walked onto a plane, ordered a drink, lit a cigarette, and vanished into American folklore. He wasn't a monster. He was just a guy in a suit who wasn't afraid to jump. There's no clear answer, and that leaves room for everyone to bring their own investigator hat and speculate without any fear of ever really being proven wrong. BCooper was kind of a cool figure. I think that makes him an object of fascination. The FBI released hundreds of pages of files in 2025. More redactions, more leads that went nowhere, more suspects who looked right but weren't. In one file, there's a detail. Cooper looked out the window. He said, "We're over Tacoma now." He just knew. He knew the terrain. He was familiar with the area. That's all they have. 1,000 details, a puzzle that doesn't fit together. A man who knew the plane, knew the area, knew how to disappear. Maybe he landed in the woods and died. 54 years later, no one has found anything. Maybe he survived. Maybe he walked out of the woods with $200,000. Maybe he's the reason none of the money ever turned up, except that $5,180. The money a little boy found in the sand. In Loki, they reveal he was actually a god of mischief, a trickster. It's a joke, but it fits. Cooper is whatever people want him to be. A hero, a villain, a ghost, a mystery. David Lynch named his character Dale Bartholomew Cooper as a nod to the hijacker. Dale Cooper is an FBI agent. He's chasing something he'll never fully understand. That's all of us now. The tie is in a vault. The money is gone. The parachutes are returned. The suspects are dead. The case is cold. But the world remembers. BCooper, the only unsolved hijacking in American history. The man who walked onto a plane and walked out of existence. Where are you, BCooper? No one knows. No one will ever know. That's why we can't stop asking. The story of BCooper remains the only unsolved hijacking in American history. End.